Hello children, today I will teach you the lesson all stories are anancies. So let me start the lesson from first paragraph. In the beginning, all tales and stories belong to Nayam, the sky god. But Kwaku Anansi, the spider, earned to be the owner of all the stories known in the world, and he went to Niyam and offered to buy them. Okay, here in the beginning, okay, tales means what? Small stories, imaginary stories, right? So and even other stories also, so they all belong to whom? Niyam. Who is this Niyam? Niyam is the sky god. Okay, so here Niyam. So how to pronounce the words Niyam, like Vaku, Anansi? So they have given here how to pronounce these words. So in page number 114, you have that pronunciation, etymology they have given. So Niyam and Mobaro, Onini, Osabo, Calabash. So these are the peculiar words that we are going to find in this lesson. So we need to pronounce these words like this. Okay. So that's why. So it is an imaginary story and very funny story. You will be enjoying the lesson. So in the beginning, so all stories and tales belong to Niyam, the sky god. But, okay, but what's so special? Kwaku Anansi. So one thing, that is Kwaku Anansi. Who is this Kwaku Anansi? Kwaku Anansi was a spider, the spider name. Okay, the spider name is Kwaku Anansi. Earned to be the owner. So he longed, he desired so much to be the owner of all the stories known in the world. And he went to Niyam and offered to buy them. As well, actually, all the stories and tales belong to the sky god named Niyam. But here, Kwaku Anansi, he desired, he longed to have the ownership of what? Of all the stories that are in the world. So what can he do? He thought better to go to this Nayam god and pay something, some price, so that he can buy them. Okay, he offered. And he went to Niyam and offered to buy them. So he wanted to pay something in order to buy all the stories, so that he can become the owner of all stories that were there in the world. Now he should know how much cost does it. Right? The sky god, I am willing to sell the stories. Even the sky god also was ready to sell the stories. But was the condition? The price is high. Was the condition? But the price is high. The price is so much. We don't know whether Kwaku Anansi would be able to pay the price or not. Many people have come to me offering to buy. Okay, so many people. So Niyam god is talking like this. He says that so many people have come to buy the thing. They try to pay the price also. But what happened? But the price was too high for them. Rich and powerful families have not been able to pay. Even the rich and powerful families also failed to pay the price in order to get the ownership of all stories that belonged to Niyam god. They couldn't pay. They also failed. Then Niyam god is asking like this. He says, do you think you can do it? So he asked this question to whom? Anansi, Kwaku Anansi. Whether he would be able to pay the price or not. Then Anansi replied like this. Anansi replied to the sky god, I can do it. What is the price? So confident he is. So confident, right? So he is telling. He says that I can do it. What is the price? So he is asking what was the price? My price is 3 things. Listen carefully. What is the price? The price is 3 things. Who said? The sky god said, I must first have Mobaro. So he need Mobaro, the hornets. Then I must then have Onini. So here Mobaro as well as hornets both are C. After that what does he expect? I must then have Onini. Then he expects Onini. That is the second thing. And what was the third thing? Great python. Python you know, right? Great python. So the three things, the price is three things. First one is Mobaro. Mobaro means here hornets. And the second one is Onini. And the third one is python. Great python. So here Onini is the great python. I must then have Osabo. Osabo is the third one. Okay. Osabo is the third one. What is this Osabo? Osabo is nothing but leopard. Okay. So first one, hornets, python, leopard in our language. So another name for that is Mobaro, Onini, Osabo. Mobaro, Onini, Osabo. Mobaro means hornets, Onini means great python, Osabo means leopard. Okay. This is the price of sky god. For what? In order to sell the ownership of all stories. Right? Then for these things I will sell you the right to tell all stories. Okay? Then if he pays the price that was told by who? Nayam god, then he will be, Anansi will be able to tell all, he will get this right to tell all the stories. That is the condition. Let me explain. Okay, we will see whether Kwaku will be able to pay the price or not. So now we will start the second, that is the first introduction part. So what was the introduction part? Niyam god was there and he has the ownership of all stories. All stories belong to whom? Niyam god, the sky god. But what was our lesson say? So he, according to the lesson, Kwaku Anansi, so he wanted to buy all stories. He wanted to become the owner of all stories. So in order to become the owner of all stories, he needed to pay the price. And the price is three things. What is that? Mobaro, Onini, Osabo. So he wants to get all the three things and he has to pay all the three things to Niyam god. After that he will become the owner of all stories. So we'll see whether he will become the owner of all stories or not. So first Anansi said, I will bring them. So confident again. His voice is so confident. So he says like this. He said, and I will bring them. He went home and made his plans. Okay, he began to do some plans, right? So without plan, he cannot start his work because it is not a simple task. Spider, it is small spider, but he needs to get three things. First, hornets. Next, Osabo. Osabo is third. Onini is second one. Python. It is not a simple task. So first thing, so he began to do he began to make some plans. What are those plans? First, he first cut a goat from a vine and made a small hole in it. He took a large calabash and filled it with water. Okay, he took some gold. Okay, after that he made hole on it. He took a large calabash. What is this calabash? So it is like a fruit, big fruit. Okay, it will be like this calabash. We can remove the ends, whatever substance is there inside it, and you can use that as a ball also. Outside you can do painting, so we can use it. So like that he has taken that fruit, calabash. So even after that he has filled it with water. Then he went to the tree where the hornets live. What is this? Hornets. Hornets are nothing but like small insects. He poured some of water over himself. What did he do? So what he did? He poured some of water over himself. He began to pour water over himself. He himself he took water and he was pouring over himself so that he was dripping. If you pour water on yourself, what will happen? You will be dripping, right? Water will be overflowing on you. Then he threw some water over the hornets. Not only that, what he do? What did he threw some water over hornets also. First, he poured water on himself. After that, he began to pour some water over the hornets also, so that they too were dripping. Even he made the hornets to be dripping. Then he put the calabash on his head. After that, what did he do? So then he put the calabash, I don't know, so he began to put it over its head as though to protect himself from a storm. So he was acting like that, that he has been protecting from a storm, great storm. He was acting like that. Oh, in one side the storm is going to come, as if one side the storm, it was raining. He made the atmosphere, that atmosphere which is looking like a rain, full rainy it was. He made that atmosphere so rainy. Then, are you foolish people? Why do you stay in the rain that is falling? Even he made the hornets to believe that it was raining. And he began to question them. Why do you stay in the rain? Then hornets answered, where shall we go? Innocent, right? The hornets were so innocently. They asked, they reply, where shall we go? Okay, it is raining. We accept. They don't know it was raining or not. Simply this Kwaku Anansi made that atmosphere, rainy atmosphere, he made it. But here these hornets don't know about that. So they make this question like that, where shall we go? Then he has given a suggestion. What is that suggestion? Go here in this dry gourd. Anansi told them. Okay, he bought, some gourd he bought. So he told them better to go inside that gourd. Then the hornets thanked them foolishly, right? So they thanked him and flew into the gourd through the small hole. When the last of them had entered, it is like a bottle-shaped thing, and he made all the hornets to enter into the bottle. After going all the hornets inside that gourd, what he did, he closed it. When the last of them had entered, Anansi plugged the hole with his ball of grass. With the ball of grass, he made like a lid and he closed it, saying, oh yes, but you are really foolish people. Right? So, trickish Anansi. Anyhow, he had bought one prize. What is that? The first thing he has collected. Honest, right? Now he can go to Niyam god and he can submit that. So that's what he did. He took the gourd full of honors to Niyam, the sky god. The sky god accepted them. He said, there are two more things. Yes, still two more things are there. He needs to collect it. Right? What are the two things? Onini and Osabo. That is python and leopard. Two are great things, right? It is not a easy thing to collect python and also Osabo. Two are wild animals only, right? There. Okay, we'll check whether he could be able to collect the things or not. Onini and Osabo. Then Anansi returned to the forest and cut a long bamboo pole. You know, right? Bamboo pole. So, second thing, he needs to collect the second thing. What is that? Anini, the python. So for that he made one plan. What is that? He went to forest. First thing, Anansi returned to the forest and cut a long bamboo pole, you know, right? Bamboo tree. So from that, so he had taken one pole, bamboo pole, and some strong vines also. Okay, some strong vines, thick threads also he has taken. Then he walked towards the house of Anini, the python. So he went towards he didn't go inside the python's house, just he went near to that python's house, talking to himself. So he made a conversation. He was talking to himself. He didn't talk with others, but he was talking to himself. So he said, my wife is stupid. He told one sentence. What is that? My wife is stupid. I say he is, underline this statement. He says that I say he is longer and stronger. My wife says he is shorter and weaker. Understood? So here he, who is that? He refers to python. So he is talking like this. He made a conversation talking to himself. Okay, my wife says that the python is longer and stronger. Sorry, he says. But what about his wife's opinion? His wife says that the python is shorter and weaker. Both are opposite, shorter and weaker. This is according to Anansi, the python is longer and stronger. Got it? That was the thing. Like that he was talking with himself. Talking to himself. Then I give him more respect. She gives him less respect. Is she right or am I right? I am right. He is longer. I am right. He is stronger. So this is the conversation. There was no other person. His wife is not there, but just he was talking to himself. Anansi. So in order actually his intention is he wanted to make the python to come out and talk to him and to believe this statement. Okay, got it? That is the intention. He is making some trick here. That is also one of his plans. According to his wife didn't say like that. Just he is making the conversation and just imagination. That's it. So when Anini the python heard Anansi talking to himself, he said, "Why are you arguing this way with yourself?" So python is interfering in his conversation. He came out and he began to talk. "Why are you arguing this way with yourself?" The spider replied, I have a dispute. Listen carefully. I have had a dispute with my wife. So I have small argument with my wife. Like that, who said? Spider. Anansi said. To whom? To Anini. Okay. What was that dispute? What was that argument? Some discussion was there. No argument. Some problem. What is that? Differences. Both have the differences. And opinions. About the opinion about whom? About the python. So according to Anansi's wife, python is shorter and weaker, okay, than this bamboo pole. Okay, bamboo pole he bought. Who bought? Anansi bought one bamboo pole from forest, right? He brought it. After that, so she says, who says? Spider's wife, Anansi's wife. Anansi's wife says that the python is shorter than the bamboo pole and weaker than the bamboo pole. But Anansi's opinion is like this. But a python is longer and stronger than the bamboo pole. That is the argument that was happening between Anansi and his wife, and he exposed that matter to Anini python. Then Anini said, "It is useless and silly to argue when you can find out the truth. So instead of arguing like this foolishly, why don't you find out, you can measure me, right? That's what the foolishly again Anini began to talk like this, and he made the suggestion, he gave one suggestion to Anansi. Okay, bring the pole and we will measure, that's it, the problem gets over. Like that Anini has given suggestion. Then what's it? So Anansi laid the pole on the ground and the python came and stretched himself out beside it. Okay, he brought the bamboo pole and he put like this bamboo pole, and he asked Anansi to so Anini said like that, so instead of arguing, let them bring that bamboo pole so that we can measure my length. Then so Anansi laid the pole on the ground. So like that he took the bamboo pole and he began to put, like, imagine this is a bamboo pole and he put like this. Okay, so that is like this he lay down on the ground. After that what does he do? The python came and stretched himself out beside it. Okay, so whenever he put like this, then the python wants to measure, right? So if it is the if it is the python, so imagine this is the python, then what can you do? So he said that, okay, you put that, I will come and stretch out myself beside the bamboo pole, so that you can measure whether I am longer or the bamboo pole is longer, right? So he began to put like this, the snake came, the python came and began to lie beside the bamboo pole. Okay, so that he can measure, right, if it is the tail, whether it is bamboo pole is longer or the python is longer. Then you seem a little short. So he said that we know the nature of the skin of this python, right? It will be elastic, like stretch, it will stretch. So first Anansi said, you seem little short than the bamboo pole. Then the python began to stretch like this. It began to stretch like this. A little more, again Anansi asked, little more you stretch. Again it began to little more stretch. When you stretch one end, you get shorter. If you are stretching this side, here it will become, one side it will become reduced, shorter. If you stretch this side, here it will become less. So it is difficult to measure. Like that he made sentence. So when you stretch at one end, you get shorter at the other end. Anansi said, let me tie you at the front so you don't slip. Got the point, right? If you stretch here, it will become shorter from the another end. If you stretch at the tail part, it will become shorter here. So, and in order to be correct, so that I can tie you, let me tie. So if you try here, if you put the head here, I will tie here with my vines he bought, no, so that, and another also, like that. So that was the idea. So he bought the thread. So what did he do? So he took that thread and he began to tie it like this. Okay, and another side also. Both sides entirely he began to tie so that it cannot slip, and he can measure the python. Actually, he doesn't have the intention to measure the python. What was his intention? He wanted to take the python. He wanted to collect and submit to whom? Niam god. That is the one of the prize things. So at last he took that and he began to tie that like this, so that python cannot move at all. Right? So tightly, of course here I didn't use the thick thread, so but he tied it and now it cannot move. No, just he can collect this bamboo pole and he can give to Niam god as the prize. So, like that even he was successful in getting the python answer. So, he tied Onini's head to the pole, then he went to the other end and tied the tail to the pole. He wrapped the vine all around Onini until the python could not move. So tightly he wrapped it with that vines, and even he made the python to be stick to that place he did, so that it cannot move. Onini, Anansi said, "It turns out that my wife was right and I was wrong." Okay, he said, "You are shorter than the pole and weaker." He accepted that his wife was correct. That is, shorter and weaker than the bamboo pole. My opinion was not as good as my wife's, but you were even more foolish than I, and you are now my prisoner. So he accepted that. Now he made the statement that python was foolish, and he became the prisoner of this Anansi. So Anansi carried the python to Niam, the sky god, who said there is one thing more. So he has given to python to Niam god, but still one more thing is that, what is that? Osabo. He need to collect the Osabo. In next class we will see how Anansi could be able to collect the Osabo.